MMP, I heard something, a new thing's out, that's what they say.
When the news hit my ears, it just moved me to tears. Here's the story. I'll give you a hint, it's been long out of print. No inventory, no inventory. It has things, lots and lots of things, almost everything to play in the DTO. You can play North Africa today. Oh, and by the way, the box art is stellar. If all this makes you drool, just wait till you hear the residual story. If Module 7 you seek but have admitted defeat, you're in luck. There's Italian elites like the Bersaglieri and Folgore. Infantry, Eritrean soldiers of Negus. Wait, there's more. There are two boards you see, 31 and 30. They're unmounted. But unlike the first time, there's at least 49 scenarios. One more thing, desert overlays definitely are also included. You will pay about $170, call up MMP, a 3rd edition, they'll sell ya. Lucky fella. If all this makes you drool, just wait till you get your shiny copy. When your collection's complete with the new counter sheets, you'll be so happy. The legions it is, finally restored to all of its glory. When will it ship next Monday? That's a whole nother story. Another story.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another exciting episode of the Two Half Squads.
The only podcast on the net dedicated 100% to the greatest game in the world as Advanced Squad Leader.
Do it in semaphore. We're going to do the entire show in semaphore, so if you're driving, this is going to be really dull.
I am Dave.
I'm Jeff, and we are Silly Boys, and we have been on the air. Dave, I have to shake your hand, but I can't quite reach you. The room is so big. Yeah, there we go. We have passed the 15-year mark of the Two Half Squads.
Yep, kind of crazy.
And for those of you who have sent money asking us to stop doing the show, please continue to send money. Eventually we will. But for all the people that said you'll never get to 15 years ever, think of all those people that have said that to us.
The heck with you guys.
Yeah. We kept, just to spite you, we have kept going.
Mm-hmm. That's the only reason.
It's not that we love the game. We just love to be right.
We certainly don't love each other or the game. So it's been a real struggle, but we did it.
When they write the book about this whole thing, it's going to be really an expose. It's going to be really shocking to a lot of people.
Like Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, exactly. Like Buddy and Holly. A lot of those duos didn't do well. Abbott and Costello, they got into fights,
Yes.
didn't they? And break up, and
Mm-hmm.
not us, Dave. We're in it for the long run.
We are, because I won't let you quit.
We'll be like
Yeah.
90 years old. I remember 42 years ago when we started this podcast.
Well, we have such creative help like Dennis Donovan.
Yes. Thank goodness for the wonderful listeners that contribute to the show. Dennis had that great song. He did the words to that song.
Concept and lyrics.
And I must say, you performed it very well.
Oh, it wasn't me. It was the two half squad singers.
Oh, well, they were fantastic. And it made me want a pizza pie.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really did. No, that was really good. Great. Yeah, really fun lyrics. More of those, Dennis, please. Could always use more. So what's going on?
Well, we had that
Going on
fun
with you,
Frostgrave Saturday night.
Yeah, we did.
Game.
Yeah, that was a fun game. I feel like I'm still learning. Every time I play it, I feel like it's the first time I played it. But I really had a good time.
Yeah, it's harder to remember things than being young. Or is it that we played so many games
I think so.
that is this the one where they move twice, but the second one's at half speed, or
Yeah.
is that D&D, or is
Yeah.
that other skirmish game, or
Yeah.
that board game, or
Yeah. But it was a good group, just four of us playing, and we had a good time.
I did do D&D with the family last night.
Oh, interesting.
And again, that's fun because they're all rookies.
Yeah.
So they get into it. And
Yeah.
it's fun when there's no one to argue with about rule interpretations or what, you know.
It's the one time the family can get together and not argue about stuff.
Yeah.
What a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Like my one niece is a druid. She became a brown bear in her form change, you know.
Oh, okay. She's a shape-shifting
druid. And then she at one point said, all right, we'll move your figure over to that spot if you're attacking there. She goes, she just grabbed, she goes, I'm a big old mama bear. And she moved it. It's just that kind of fun.
Yeah.
Their imaginations, they're younger. My sister and brother-in-law are older, but they're younger. Laura played and Megan. So it's
Yeah, and you get to see a different side of people. If they loosen up a little bit, when they finally loosen up, you get to see their funner side.
Yeah.
Which is always nice. Let me ask you, who won?
The party.
The party won.
The party won.
How about that?
Yeah. Who won Frostgrave? Was that? Did you get 3 treasures or?
I got 2. I only got 2 treasures.
Who got 3?
Chris. Yeah.
All right.
Chris.
But
Justin got 2 as well.
But you all won because you all got some treasure and got off the board.
Yeah.
And
yeah, nobody died. Nobody was hurt badly.
D&D, the lizard men lost.
Oh,
The
no.
lizard folk.
Oh, let's pause.
Once again.
Let's pause for a moment of silence for the lizard men.
Yeah. Now, if I was a lizard folk, I wouldn't have minded getting dumped in my kayak again.
Yeah. Oh, you have to tell the story. I can't believe you got dumped again.
So people may remember the first story. That was the Des Plaines River. And this time we went on the Nippersink for those Illinoisans or people who like to look things up on maps. A really windy river and a windy day and cold. And I keep saying it was 52 degrees. My wife keeps saying it was 58. And then there was a wind chill. I think it had to be like a 20-mile-an-hour winds. My wife thinks they were less. I say, I mean, keep trying to minimize the horror of what happened to me that day.
The Whitecaps, I'm sure, had you a little nervous just setting out.
So last time that river ran us under some bridges where we had to duck to go under that surprised us because the water level was high enough. This time it was about a foot lower, but still running pretty swiftly.
Yeah.
And which meant there were exposed rock. It's not really rapids, right? Or it's rapids, right?
It's
rapid. What's the
rapid.
definition of
Of a rapid?
Yeah.
Anything faster than you want it to be.
Yeah, we did
It's
not
rapid.
want to have to collide with these rocks.
Yeah. Anything over meandering is rapid to me.
And so Laura tried to get us. She's the guide. She goes first, and then she goes, "No, go left." And she got through where it narrowed a little, and then I couldn't get over that way. Hit the rocks sideways,
And I'm like, okay, behind me going down is the cliff edge. Like a cliff edge, it's like 1 to 2 feet tall banks. This is a really dug in creek technically, but felt like a river. And behind me, it's swooshing down along the side, which I kind of thought I could go that way to start with. But there were some rocks up ahead of that. So I'm pushing off, going, okay, I want to go forward where Laura went. And I keep inching backward a little. And I'm like, no, trying to grab the rocks with this paddle and pull forward and off the rocks so I can move. And it spins my tail around and I start going down the rapid chute backwards.
Oh,
So I go, this probably is not going to end.
see, well, you were not thinking positively, Dave, and that was your downfall.
I
right
did
there.
think, well, I think I could make it backwards if I just hold still.
Yeah.
But I remembered there were bigger rocks further down in that chute area.
The chute, yeah.
The water was really pouring fast through there.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I hit something or the wind or I didn't knock myself over like I did the first time. And into the water and up onto the bank, crawling out. And
how deep was the water there?
I could feel it trying to pull my feet out from under me.
Oh,
when I stood up
yeah.
to get up on the bank. But I think it was only below my knees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No real risk of drowning.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking hypothermia, so I get up on the.
You can drown. No, don't minimize this, Dave. You can drown in a teaspoon of water.
You just have to do it properly.
Yes. You have to hold still, and your wife has to have a steady hand.
Yeah, so I crawled up on that bank, and you know how they say don't panic.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't very good at not panicking.
Yeah.
But I didn't totally panic, so I'm like, oh no, it's cold. It's cold. The water was cold. The wind was cold. There was a slight drizzle of cold. The sun was not out, and I think I was going in circles. And then Laura grabbed the kayak, pulled up into an area along the bank, and I said, I'm effed. I swore a lot. And
which is, it's hard for me to believe. I can't even picture it, really.
I did start looking. Okay, am I walking along the shore? And I'm looking everywhere. And there's farms around. They're pretty far away. And you think it's in this populated area. But when you're standing there soaking wet in the cold, and you realize how far it is to walk anywhere in that condition. And so Laura says, well, you have to get your clothes off. I'm like, yeah, right. That's right. I gotta. And so I rip off, and I was wearing like this stuff, heavy cotton. I know it's dumb. Rip it off, pants, underwear off. And then it had the effect of all the local farm girls started to become attracted to our area.
Of course. You are the chick magnet. No, really, did you have to cut open a cow and crawl inside to stay warm?
One of those dolly cows from Mariglees.
Say Mariglees, yeah.
So Laura said, well, put your underwear on. Leave that on. So I put that.
How many times has she told you that over this last 4 years?
And so then she says, all right, well, here's my windbreaker. So I'm in this windbreaker that won't close around the front. I don't know why she wears such small clothing.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? What's the matter with you?
And in my underwear.
Yeah.
And then I get the kayak on the land. I just remember it's kind of a blur. And then I'm like, I gotta go. I start dragging the kayak along the grass. She's like, well, wait, I can text for help here. And I'm thinking, no, I don't want a helicopter to come down. It's going to cost me money.
That's true. Those helicopter pilots they've always got their hands
on. So I'm like, honey, no, there's a bridge. There's a bridge right there. I can see the bridge. And we know there's roads on the bridge. So I got to get to that. I'm going to die hypothermia. I have limited time. And I start hauling off. And then she's like, well, wait. It may be better to go down the creek. I'm like, no. And then she's like, well, we stopped. And then the sun hit and I started to dry a little. And okay, we decided to get back in the kayaks and go on down the river. So we did. and made it safely to the end.
How many times did she have to slap you to bring you out of your panic?
None. But she did climb out at one point too, when we thought we were going to be able to walk along the edge of the river creek and then get to that bridge.
Yeah.
But then it was like, and then, about 20 minutes drying out in there and sun out. Yeah, maybe I will kayak again someday. So are you coming with me, Jeff?
Well, I'm busy writing the book about your adventures, and then I'm going to sell it to Hollywood and see if I can get Leonardo DiCaprio to play you. I think that would be a good casting.
Yeah, remember, lakes are much safer. Usually.
Yes.
And ponds.
Yeah, lakes and ponds are safer.
Yep, and they're pleasant kayaking experiences also.
Yeah, no, I don't think I need to go. I'm living vicariously through your adventures. And that's about as much of the kayaking that I'll take at this time. But thank you. I'm glad you're okay.
Yes.
So that we could do another 15 years of this wonderful show.
Indeed.
There are probably listeners out there going, shoot.
That was close. We could have got out of this.
Only we could stop him.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's going to take more than drowning to stop Dave Kleinschmidt. So let's go on with the show.
Let's do that.
We have we had a fun contest. Well, it was fun for us, and it was fun for the people that sent in their name for the East Side Gamers pack.
By May 1st.
Yes. So the contest is over because today is May 1st. Well, I guess we should give people till midnight. Nah.
Oh, today's May 2nd.
May 2nd. There we go.
Because we're drawing this puppy.
Yeah, and we got a lot of good response from this. Hundreds and hundreds. We got hundreds. And
like 7.
7. So I'm going to roll the 700-sided die. No, the 7-sided die. Here, let me share my screen so that people, for those of you that are watching.
Yep.
And why would you do that? I don't even know.
Entrants in order were Richard Logan, Robert, Nate, Patrick, Richard. Other Richard was Blasco, and
okay,
Gordon, Michael. That is the entrance in order.
That's all of them.
Yep, 1 to 7.
All right, so I've gone to rolladie.net. They are not sponsors of this show, but I like their dice roller. They let me do a 7-sided die here. You can see it right there. I'm going to roll it 1 time. And this, you can ignore this 1 in the middle. I've just been practicing rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Because it takes quite a bit of skill. You wouldn't think so, but it does. Okay, here we go. I'm going to roll. Do we have a drum roll? No, we don't. Okay, there we go. And here we go.
Ding.
4.
Number 4 is Patrick Woodbury.
Hey, Patrick.
Luckily, we found him in the spam folder and pulled him out just today. Otherwise, he would have been missed it.
Yeah.
He'd be emailing.
I wonder how we got in the spam folder.
I don't know. It did say the reason is this looks similar to other things you sent for spam, which
okay.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Patrick, you're a real person and you will send us your address and I will get this mailed right out to you.
And boy, you're going to have fun. And then stay in touch with us and let us know how much fun you had with it. Great contest.
Well, what about those people that didn't win, Jeff? Don't you feel sorry for them?
I think we should give them another chance, don't you?
Shouldn't they win double the amount of things since they didn't win that?
Well, they're going to have to resubmit, won't they?
They will.
Okay.
Because we have from listener Matt.
We're on the same page.
Matt Zajac.
Matt Zajac sent us these wonderful Schwerepunkt products.
Indeed, Schwerepunkt Volume 1.
Which comes from October of 1996. Boy, that goes back.
It's a 2nd edition.
Yeah.
And Schwerepunkt number 2.
Zwei. Yeah.
These are from the Florida ASL tournament collection of scenarios, both of these. And to win these, what should the listeners do, Jeff?
Well,
do they have to call in and yell Schwerepunkt and out loud?
That's a good one.
Should we?
Yeah. Call in and just say Schwerepunkt and then leave your name.
Yeah.
And if you could say it, no, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is call in and say Schwerepunkt.
Does it tell us their name?
No, they have to tell us their name.
Okay.
So if you go to our website, the2halfsquads.com, and you go to the front page, I'm just going to check for it right now.
Oh yeah, because when I post the shows, it drops the information to the bottom full.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you're still going to the web page and Dave has posted and not fixed it, it'll drop all that info to the bottom. So just scroll all the way down.
Yeah.
And
I'll fix that today.
It won't be a contest of who says Schwerepunkt the best or funniest, right?
No.
It'll be a random drawing.
That's right.
And then you have to give us permission for me to make a audio collection of all the Schwerepunkts being said, just in order. I would not put your name in. Could that be funny?
Yes.
Jeff's thinking about it. He may cancel that idea later.
Well, how are they going to leave their name?
I'll just edit it out.
Oh, okay.
I'll load them all into the
Okay, yes.
editor and it'll just go,
We'll edit out your name.
Schwerepunkt.
Yes. That's right.
Maybe. Yes.
So we'll put that the link back on the page front, the front of our page at the 2 half squads, and then you could write it and they'll get both. Right?
Yes. Except the odds are you'll move it back to the front and then I'll post the show in 2 days and then it'll be moved to the bottom.
I forgot to check. I don't know.
Well, I should
how that
usually
happens.
remind you. So there you go. That contest and their due date is not by the 15th, our next recording time, hopefully, but by the
end of the month.
End of 30
days has September, April, June, and November.
April, May,
so
and
31st.
November.
By May 31st.
April, June. And
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and all you have to do is you go to our website and you click on, I forgot this, there's a tab on the right-hand side that says record a message. That's where you leave it.
Oh, the tab.
The tab.
And that doesn't move down when I screw it up?
It does not.
Great. Even easier.
Yeah.
Yep. I double checked him as if he'd be wrong about that.
Well, I just checked it now myself. It's been a while since I've called in.
Sounds great.
So that'll be a fun contest. Great stuff to win. And that'll keep your ASL gaming going throughout the summer, probably.
Indubitably.
Which is just around the corner.
It's time for rules. You need the rules to play the game and put your opponents to shame. They might seem hard, but that's okay. We're gonna learn them anyway. Rules.
So we're ready to finish rule 19 from last show.
Yeah, I was surprised how deep that was. What a deep dive.
Unit substitution.
Yes.
And there's a shortage of substitute teachers, people. So everybody get out there and go volunteer in your local school. Rule 19.131, ammunition shortages. First of all, any multi-man counter, which rolls an original 12, Jeff, on the die roll on the IFT table, while using his inherent firepower, suffers unit replacement.
Right.
Now, is that going to be changed out for the lower quality unit before or after the attack?
Oh,
which caused it to happen?
Oh, yeah.
Is resolved.
After.
After is correct.
Yes. That's right.
So if you have a 4.47, pick a 4 shot. If you drop to a 3.37, you still count as a 4.47 for that shot.
For that shot. Because you took the shot.
Yep.
So yes, that makes sense. Now, rules that just make sense.
That's which there's so many of them.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's a problem.
Any MMC subject to, but incapable of further quality loss, like going from an elite to a first to a second to a conscript, can't go down any further after resolution of the attack is broken, unless berserk.
Yes.
If you can't
That's
go down
true.
any lower.
Yes, that is true.
Now, are all members of a fire group that fires and rolls the 12, are they all subject to the unit replacement?
You know, I used to think so, but no, I think it's a random selection. Is that not correct?
You are correct.
Yes.
And it is random selection, technically, after any malfunction or elimination of applicable support weapons, because that usually happens on a 12 also.
Right. Okay.
And with ammo shortage, even lower. So, because unit replacement does not occur as a result of a 12 to hit die roll, but A.11 would apply because all support weapon, original B numbers and X numbers, and ammo depletion numbers are decreased by 1 during ammo shortage. Yep. So
Yeah,
break
okay.
a weapon and reduce someone's level. Now, during ammo shortage, all vehicle and guns are considered to have a circled B number, one lower than their inherent B number.
So so let me get this. Let me refresh this. The circled B number.
It's difficult.
Yes. The circled B number is a
Breakdown number.
It's the breakdown number
that has low ammo already.
Okay.
And I always have to look it up.
Okay.
I always have to look it up. It's not that hard, but I think reading that rule, which is a separate rule, is a little awkward every time I read it.
The circled breakdown number means that is a low ammo weapon.
Yes.
Okay.
And so if you have an ammo shortage,
Yes.
already
Then that
considered
applies.
to have that going.
Yeah.
And those that already have a circled B number on the counter all the time. Oh, typically because it's all coming back. Typically because the ammo is really heavy, like
Yes.
150 millimeter shells or some 200 mil. I don't even know if those exist. Then it has that low rate and low ammo because they don't stock that much of it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it already has that, and then it is also ammo shortage, then I didn't finish the sentence.
Oh my.
All vehicles have a B number 1 lower than their inherent B number during ammo shortage. Those which already have a circle B at start of play with a low ammo counter already in place. I'm sorry, I don't know what I screwed up.
Say it one more time.
No, it's screwed up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, we can go to the rule. I can edit.
Well, there's one of these, because I just happened to find there's one of these, Perry says, I
Oh,
think, that might relate to this.
yes, let's read that anyway.
For
It's always-
example, a gun with an inherent breakdown number of 12 is under conditions of ammunition shortage at the start of a scenario. So does it start the scenario with the circled 10 or a circled 11? A gun with an inherent breakdown number of 12 is under conditions of ammunition shortage at the start of the scenario. So what should the circled number be?
11.
That's right.
Okay, good.
But that doesn't answer our question, does it?
No, I think
No,
it's
but-
going to say if it has a circle B number already to start play and has low ammo, it's going to go down another 1.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know what, it is kind of funny. You mentioned something here that kind of jogged my memory. When we play, we don't have this much trouble with the rules. It's like pulling it. It's when we're in play and we're reasoning stuff through, we kind of know this stuff. When we're pulling it out here, just kind of out of the air, so abstractly.
A lot of it's the phrasing of the rule.
Yeah, and the
as
phrasing
well
of the rule.
as yes.
And your emphasis on certain syllables.
Yes. Now, does ammo shortage have an effect on close combat?
You could also say it like this. Does ammo shortage have an effect on?
Well, that's a
Close combat.
different question.
Yeah. Does ammo shortage have an effect on close combat? Oh, God. No.
No. Does it have an effect on snipers?
No.
No. Does it have an effect on residual firepower attacks?
Yes.
No.
No.
Because you're just laying the resid.
Oh, yeah.
And if the unit goes lower, it doesn't change the shot that it took. Because for
Okay.
infantry, the ammo shortage just lowers that quality if they rolled boxcars.
I think I've been doing that right all along because I've never
Because
bothered.
we've never done it.
We-
We've never changed a residual
No.
based on it.
No.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's part of it too. You think, well, we've never done that, but
Yeah.
are we missing that in the rules?
Hey, we have fun. Who cares if we're
Yeah.
playing wrong? We're having a good time.
Does ammo shortage prevent placement of a fire lane? Just having ammo shortage
Yeah,
in general.
you ask a lot of darn fool questions. Yes.
That is correct.
Okay.
Which I think I forget when I have ammo shortage. I guess you wouldn't be wasting all that ammo just, firing down the street in a fire lane.
Let's ask Ross Perot that question.
Makes sense.
Well, let me tell you this. If you got ammunition shortage, you shouldn't be out there fighting anyway. That's like taking a bear outside and asking him to butter up your buttercups. Y'all don't want to be doing that.
That is such logical, good advice. Just down home goodness. 19.132.
Finally, I thought, are we ever going to get to 19.132 ever?
We are final year.
There.
It's taken 15 years.
Yes. Good Lord.
Whenever a special scenario rule, not just an OB, specifically assigns an ELR less than or equal to 4 to units with an underscored morale factor, they suffer a unit replacement normally, regardless of the severity of the quality drop, thereby resulting, period. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
But
Regardless of the severity of the quality drop, thereby resulting.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that example helps you to have a 665 German goes to all the way down to the 447.
665?
658
A 658. There you go.
goes
Okay.
to the 447.
Okay.
The British 648 to a 447 also. So likewise, with a mix OB of multi-man counters, both with and without the underscored morale factor, an ELR of 4 or less would apply to those with an underscored morale factor only by special scenario rule. So that's just a teaching moment. Now you know. To finish up, well, no, not yet. 19.2. It talks about the green and conscript troops. What are they, Jeff, in ASL reality? Like, what are green troops? How are the conscripts different than regular good troops?
Well, they're not very well trained.
They're not very well trained.
They're kind of inexperienced.
And they are inexperienced. In fact, they have inexperienced rules. And do they then use the rules for inexperienced personnel then?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Like the crying rule. Like they cry like babies.
Yeah. There's no crying in baseball.
Yeah.
Well, there is crying in green and conscript.
Yes,
troops.
there is.
May these green or conscript troops ever use stealth advantages?
No.
No, they may not.
In fact, they're clumsy. They're bumpy. They make noises. They grunt. They stumble and trip on stuff because their boots don't fit correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Not even a green squad accompanied by a leader. Can he be stealthy?
Oh, now there's a good question. Let's see. Let me think. No.
No. Can crews ever be considered green or conscripts?
No.
No. Can half squads ever be considered green or conscript?
Well, we were.
So yes,
Yes.
that's correct. Can single man counters
Now
ever?
we're gray.
We're gray.
Yeah.
Can single man counters ever be considered green or conscript troops?
No.
No. So it only applies to multi-man counters
Yeah.
that are squads and half squads, I think.
But you would think a 6+1 leader,
He's kind of inexperienced on his own, but no, he doesn't have to
Yeah, he
take all
doesn't have
that.
any of that. Okay.
Yep. So you might be wondering, what are those rules for that? Well, it is 19.3. Inexperienced personnel has some restrictions. A green multi-man counter stacked with an unbroken leader is exempt from the restrictive rules of inexperienced personnel, which always apply to the conscripts and unarmed units, regardless of leader presence.
So green is better than inexperienced in that case.
Indeed, yes.
Okay.
And movement. How many movement points do the green or conscript counters get?
3.
3 is correct. How many times have you forgotten that in a game?
3.
That is correct.
No,
I
actually,
remember.
I never
got
got
that one down?
that one I've
Yeah.
got down. Yeah, of all the rules. That's the one I remember.
Yeah, but I think you can run a IFT shot pretty effectively without referring to the rule book too, though. So you're
Oh,
not giving yourself enough credit.
okay.
Now that is except when being carried or mounting or dismounting any form of conveyance. Conveyance. That's a good word.
Oh.
That's a good word.
Okay.
How
Yes.
often do you hear the word conveyance?
Today, 3 times in a fairly short period. Really, they have a different.
Because when you move on the vehicles, it's a quarter of your movement
Yeah.
reduction for every quarter spent by the vehicle. And I think if you only go with the 3 thing, it screws everything up.
It's too much math.
I think the math would get
Yeah.
screwed up.
Okay.
So when they're on a vehicle, the vehicle moves, it's normal. And then if they're mounting or dismounting, you just count them as the 4 and then take a quarter off for every. Yeah.
Okay.
Can they still use the 2 movement factor bonus for movement in a stack with a leader?
Yes.
Yes. And that one I did have to think about the other day. I think Dave and I looked it up like, well, wait, is it only 1? I don't know why would every. Well, wait, he's at 3 movement points, but he's with the leader. Does he get the full 2 or is it like half? Like 1? I have no idea why that popped in my head. General confusion.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, not because it's you, but
It could make
I
a
would
better
think that
rule,
too. Yeah.
but it could be a more complicated rule.
Yeah. We don't need that.
Do green infantry moving in such a stack with the leader have the normal 6 movement factors?
No.
They do. Remember,
Oh.
the green
Oh, yes.
are exempt from
That's right.
certain things. Yeah.
Okay.
So 6. Do berserk, human wave type, inexperienced infantry still receive 8 movement factors?
You are brutal.
Now,
You just
think of all the times people have gone berserk. Has that ever mattered?
No, I don't think so.
Right. So we're playing it right.
Yeah.
Though
Yeah.
you would think, well, wait a minute. They only get 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go crazy just like anybody else,
Okay.
baby. And then the breakdown number, rule 19.32, support weapon. The breakdown number of any support weapon used by inexperienced personnel is reduced by how much?
The breakdown number of an inexperienced. Oh, it's reduced.
Because they're inexperienced, they're
Yeah.
going to break it more
Yeah,
often.
break it more often.
By how many? 1 or 2?
It's gotta
1
be
is
1.
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
When they cower, do inexperienced personnel or a fire group containing inexperienced personnel cower?
Yes.
So I shouldn't have said when they cower. Yes, that's correct. They can cower. And then do they shift 2 columns to the left on the IFT table when they cower down? Or is it 3 columns? Or is it 4 columns down?
Oh my gosh. Just 2.
Just 2. They're
Yeah.
not that bad.
Yeah.
A mixed fire group of regular squads and inexperienced personnel. So you got your 447 and your 337, whatever. May thus prove to be a liability because the presence of the inexperienced dudes can penalize the performance of the fire group as a whole.
Yes.
So
yeah,
really figure it out. Is it worth putting that conscript into that fire group shot?
Right.
In a patsy, do you remember what it stands for? Patsy? You just say the word patsy all the time.
We just say Patsy. It's a personnel artificial intelligence check.
It is a pre-armor attack task check.
Wow.
Maybe.
Is it really?
I think it is. It's pre-armor, yes. Because I always thought that's weird words.
It's a weird word. Yeah,
pre-armor
that's funny that because
attack task check. You know, I don't know.
that is funny that I can't remember what that is.
So when inexperienced take the patsy, they must pass a 1 task check, not a normal task check. So it's worse for them.
Okay.
And is the close combat value when they jump in, if they jump in with that tank for close combat, is their value changed because they're inexperienced?
I gotta think so. To go down,
It is.
go down 1 or something.
Would it go up or down?
Oh, it'd go up. No, it'd go down.
Down is
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right. Down.
Because you got to roll low.
That's right.
And it goes down by one less.
Sometimes I live in the upside down world where up is down and down is up, and I'm adding instead of subtracting. Do you ever do that anymore?
No.
Oh. Okay, let's move on.
I'm in rules for ASL that don't exist.
Can we cut
instead.
that? Can we cut that part out?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah, so,
remember.
people don't think I'm a dope.
Yeah, I'll remember to take it out.
Okay. Dave has been taking care of me all these years.
It's our little secret. Little secrets, and can all go higher. So the question was, is it 1 greater or 1 less than normal infantry on the close combat value? But who's to say what's normal, Jeff? I asked you that.
You're so woke.
Who's to say?
Yeah,
Who's
it's true.
to say?
Yeah, you're right. It's all
MMP?
normal. It's all normal.
MMP? Who are you to say?
Yeah. It's up to each individual guy to decide.
Yes, it is. If you ask who died and made MMP the boss,
Yeah, really.
it was Avalon Hill.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oops.
Get it? That's an original joke. Capture. Now we're getting near the end. 19.35 capture. Are green or inexperienced troops harder to capture in close combat?
No.
No, they're easier. You get to apply a neg 1 dial modifier instead of the +1 for the normal capture attempt.
Okay.
Again, who's to say what's normal?
Yeah.
When attempting to capture an inexperienced personnel unit in close combat, you get the -1, easier to capture. If prisoners are counting double sometimes, why not?
Yeah. Just try not to make them feel bad.
Right. You know, you can go easy on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're people.
Like me bullying the kids playing paintball. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Playing paintball and they're like up the step and I know I got to run up the stairs and they'll be shooting like at my head as it emerges from the stairwell. So I just start yelling, "Would you make me shoot you up close? Surrender, surrender, surrender." Brian, don't shoot me, kids. Please don't shoot at me.
And did they shoot you?
No.
Oh.
That group surrendered. When I got plugged in the belly and had that.
Oh yes,
like
that bruise.
That was when Nicholas turned. We had agreed no shooting up close. We should just surrender because this was like a later game, and then I surprised him just again. Surrender! I got you from behind. I didn't think I had to bully him into scare him into surrender, and he just turned, fired. He didn't even know how close I was when I said this.
Whoa!
Damn! I was like, oh, I should have just shot him. But anyway.
It's just like how Brandon Lee died. So you got to be careful.
Which one was he?
Bruce Lee's son.
Oh, yes.
Died on the set of The Crow. Is that the name of the movie?
Yes.
The Crow.
You are right.
Yeah.
And the Houdini.
Did
he get punched in the stomach or something?
Yeah, something like he died. I can't actually remember.
Internal injury or something.
Yeah. I think he had a burst appendix and he was still performing or something. I don't know any of the facts. I just watched the movie. You seen the movie with Tony Curtis?
No.
It's a very good movie.
Okay.
There's probably no truth to it at all.
Could be.
Because that was the way they made movies those days. But Tony Curtis was great.
19.36 lax. Our inexperienced personnel lax.
Not for lax of trying. Our inexperienced personnel, yes, I think they are.
They are.
Inexperienced personnel are lax.
Those lazy butts.
Yeah.
They are lax.
Yeah.
Which then what is the rules for lax to you're worse than ambush or something else, but we don't have to go into that because this is covering rule 19 And that is done.
That is the end of 19. How about that?
It is done. I don't know what's next. Well, next show we might have an interview with some Kansas City ASL players.
Oh,
the
yeah.
10th Mountain
I
Pack.
hope so. I'd really like to hear from those guys.
That could be good.
Yeah. If you like to talk about ASL, drop us a line.
So do we.
We'll have you on the show.
Well, actually, we don't like to talk about ASL. We just play people like that on a podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So our next clip is, however, the close combat scenario pack from the Kansas ASL guys.
Yes.
And I'll take a little deep dive into those.
Okay, good.
Be about 15, 20-minute little episode here.
All right.
We'll add it right here.
I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Hello, everyone. It's time to take a look at the 2019 March Madness Close Combat Pack. First of all, in the designer notes, the authors reflect that close combat is fun. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of casualties. Comes down to being dicey, but it's a game after all, boys and girls. People involved in this play testing is Kevin Adams, Dan Best, Dave Moreski, Mark Fisher, Kevin Bradshaw, Paul Works, Tony Pearson, James True, Scott Martin, Nathan Wegner, Ryan Ellett, Raymond Weston, Rex Lowen, Tom Meyer, and George Kirkwood. And we'll cover the designers of the scenarios as we take a look at them. First up, MM52 Riverfront Property, played on 2 half boards here, 22 and 40. There's 9 plus Russians defending in Stalingrad, and there's about a dozen Germans squads attacking. All these have some small support weapons you can see. And according to special rules, the terrain is switched up, which this screen, you got some roads becoming gullies, trenches back there by the river. The river is not frozen. And to start of any German movement phase, 1 multi-man counter in the same location with an unbroken 992 German leader may be temporarily designated fanatic during that movement phase. Germans have ammo shortage, and then the Russian can declare the close combat. Hand-to-hand. Can declare the hand-to-hand combat. And MM52 was designed by Kevin Adams, whereas Moranowska 6 is designed by Dan Best. It's MM353, and this little number takes place in the middle of these 2 boards, and this has the partisans, Jewish partisans in the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising against the Germans, and initial troops, which are Axis miners that are set up around a perimeter. So let's take a look at the scenario from the archive. You can see here they set up in this center of these 2 boards, DW7B and DW7A. And there's a lot of cool special rules on this, making it really unique. And close combat-y, which would be that the 1 partisan multi-man counter will battle harden at the end of the close combat phase for each enemy multi-man counter of equal size eliminated. So I don't know if they're arming up, probably is what that represents. And the partisans can exit the playing area starting on player turn 2 without counting as casualties, because the Germans need to inflict greater than or equal to 10 CVP on the partisans, and the Germans win immediately upon controlling building Q10. So I'm not sure why you'd want to exit the playing area. Oh, for both of those, yeah. So they have to get the combat victory points and control the building, of course. And then the partisans do not have upper level encirclement count against them. And they also can use the sewer movement. That's all the fun stuff that you want. There's no quarter, of course. And if the partisans are claiming the Q10 victory building TEM, they're treated as out of line of sight enemy units for concealment gain purposes. So that'll help them to survive There's really the interesting that the partisans are using the Chinese communist rules, W7, and they have Molotov and sewers, as we said, and they get a hip for a squad that's set up in the initial Q10 building. MM54, designed by Scott Mullins. Lump holds the line. Lump is a leader of the German side, and he gets the option to go berserk here and take some people with him, becoming more likely as the play goes on. Beginning on turn 2, each friendly rally phase, you make a die roll to see if he goes berserk. Die roll less than or equal to the turn number. And then guys in his and adjacent to his location go berserk also. Be a lot of fun as the Russians are coming 5-turn game. At the side, I like the victory condition at game end, the side controlling the most non-entirely blazing building hexes south of hex row J is the winner. And you can set 5 blazes alternating by player at the beginning, which represents a artillery pounding that set a lot of the village on fire here in Russia in 1943. No quarter, of course, hand to hand, of course, also going on. And when you go berserk, you can attack the Russian, even if you cannot see them. Line of sight, and the board looks like this from the scenario archive. Great little review of the game there. MM55, Johnny 1 is an interesting little number by Paul Works. And it has board 61, 40, and 43 with the little overlays, 2. And the orchards are olive groves, and the buildings are wooden. And there is a blaze that started out here in 43 I7. All open ground hexes are considered Hamada, and it's got a Nova with a SFCP directing it, and the British are on this hill. Johnny 1 is one of 3 hills apparently along the near Primusol Bridge, it says here in the history. And there are about a dozen British up there, 2 pillboxes, Sangars, setting up on hill 517. And then Italian prisoners set up on or adjacent to hill 517 that were captured previously, apparently. And the Germans have over a dozen squads coming in, and some PSW 222s, and it's a reconnaissance element, a 81 mortar. Those are always fun. Sangars are rally terrain for the British only. Pillboxes must be placed in a certain area on 61 F5 near it, and both sides may create Sangars as if creating foxholes. And then this interesting rule about the prisoners, these Italian prisoners. Well, the victory conditions, Germans win by having more good order VP than the British at level 1 or 2 on the hill. For both sides, British and German prisoners do count, but unguarded, unarmed Italian multi-man counters do not. Unguarded, unarmed Italian multi-man counters do not. So if you're guarding them, well, the unarmed Italian prisoners, special rule 5, British player records a unit ID for each unarmed MMC. These units may be left unguarded, but are controlled by the British player. While under British control, an Italian unarmed MMC may only advance and may not attempt escape or scrounging. At the instant a German unit becomes adjacent to an unguarded Italian unarmed MMC, the unarmed unit takes a morale check. If the morale check is passed, the unarmed unit reverts to German player control, and movement and escape and scrounging restrictions are removed. If the morale check has failed, the unarmed Italian unit is removed from the game. So that looks like that's going to make it a whole lot of fun. Getting up on that hill, getting into some close combat, and seeing what you can do with those 10 Italian prisoner counters. MM56 What Talk Chong is by Scott Mullins here. What Talk Chang, I don't know how to pronounce that. The Chindits here in Burma in what year here? 44 are trying to get across a bridge, and they have 6 Japanese and 2 crews, 2 medium machine guns, 2 pillboxes, 4 trenches defending on the other side of the river, as about a 10 and squads and some half squads, 3 lights, a flamethrower, a DC, and 360 millimeter mortar are trying to come across here. If I share the screen, take a look at the board. It looks like from the ASL archive, you can see there's a bridge across this river, and there's 2 fords that are placed on there. There's huts. PTO rules are in effect, and the hex G10 needs to be taken, which looks like it's here, be controlled. So that's going to set you up for your close combat with your no quarter, and Chindits getting to declare the hand-to-hand also here, and pretty simple, well, simple, but not a lot of complex rules or complex victory conditions, but a fascinating setup with this bridge you got to get across here against the enemy. M57 Fortress Verkors by Dan Best. The Germans are going to need to control like an area on the Big Long Hills boards 81 and 83. It's a 4.5 turn, quick one, with 4 partisans set up, French partisans, and a mortar, an LMG, 15 concealment counters, and I think the Germans are coming on, entering from off board, so that can be a lot of dummy stacks. And there's crag is concealment terrain and ambush terrain in this one. We'll take a look at the boards from the ASL scenario archive. Makes the big mountain in the middle kind of thing, and the Germans win immediately when hexes, certain number of hexes which go through a valley here, I believe, are cleared, and all hexes adjacent to those cleared of partisan units, including the concealment stacks or dummy stacks, concealment markers. And the partisans have hip with that mortar, and the squad with it has to be manned by a little crew, 127, and the partisans get the hand-to-hand declaration if they want it. And the Germans are considered commandos for climbing purposes because there is steep hills in effect on MM57. It's taking place in France, 1944. MM58, Passing in the Night by Dan Best, takes place on Angkor Island, Palau, and September 44. The Americans are entering 9.5 or so squads, leaders, medium machine guns, trip flares, and mortars. It's night. The Japanese have 6 squads, 4 crews, the heavies, mediums, lights, and 81 millimeter mortars and 50 millimeter mortars. And the Americans may set up in a foxhole. And why are they entering? Maybe I'm missing something on this one. Here is what the board looks like from our friends at DSL Archives. Board 52. I remember using that one a lot with the Finns. It says the Americans enter on the south edge and the Japanese setup, but that's probably flipped because the Japanese win in the victory conditions here by exiting 10 victory points off the north edge. In addition to infantry exit victory points, the Japanese receive victory points for exiting the weapons off the north edge here. They get points for 1 point for a medium, 2 for a 50 millimeter mortar, heavy machine guns were 3, and the 81 mortars were 4. So that's kind of cool. And they get points for themselves for exit victory points. Night range 2, Japanese is the scenario attacker. Yep. And Americans are the defender. So that helps clarify things here. Railroad was ground level. And that looks like a heck of a lot of fun. 4.5 turns. Again, these are nice quick actions. Tim and I are enjoying some of these quick action scenarios after we had played a lot of the Korean large ones. And having just mentioned that these are small, we get to M58 past. No, we did that one. M59 Wildcat Bowl. And this looks like a wild one indeed by Dan Best. Boards 39 and 47. And it is Japanese resistance on Angar Island. The either side win immediately upon inflicting greater than equal to 25 victory points. And Americans get 2 victory points for each cave, pillbox, eliminated, or controlled at game end. So you have maybe a dozen Japanese units with the usual assortments from heavy down to 60 Cs and mortars, AT gun, infantry gun, 12 cave counters, 3 pillbox, 6 trenches, 8 foxholes, 10 pangees, 4 roadblocks, and 3 PFZs. AP mines, 42 factors, also listed here. And the Americans, the Wildcats division, is coming up with about a dozen squads and leaders and flamethrower and 40Cs and some light mortars, a radio that'll call in 100 millimeter OBA. Take a look at the board again. Looks like an intense one here. There will be a tank battalion entering 4 M4A1s entering at the beginning, turn 1 on the south edge there, and or along the east edge on 39, on or south of 39A5. And break out your cave rules. I know a lot of you won't play that. Dave and I have played all those scenarios with the caves. Me and other people, also other players back in the day, but that's a large one. It's going to go 9 turns to accomplish all that mayhem. This pack also comes with a diagram of boards 39 and 47 for recording all your hidden stuff on there. The setup, it's going to help a lot. You're going to have all that hip stuff that I always forget I even have on the board at the end of the game. Oops, I forgot that guy was there. I forgot that trench was there, etc., etc. So, looks like a great pack you got from Kansas guys. March Madness Close Combat pack. So there you go. Lots of fun close combat situations, like where they set it up, where the trenches, you got to take the trench, you got to go in there and things like that. Looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, very good, Dave. Thank you for doing that.
And thank you, Kansas City ASL.
Yeah.
Who are sponsoring this show. Thanks to that free product, as well as
Bounding Fire Productions.
Our usual sponsor, Bounding Fire Productions.
They have been the rock of this podcast for quite a while.
Quite a while
we
now.
Appreciate their support very much, along with all the patrons that we have for Patreon.
Or Patreons, as they pronounce it on
is that how they pronounce
that music show I listen to.
Patreons, la-di-da.
They say Patreons. I'm like, no, it's Patreons.
No, Patreon.
GIF.
I don't know.
GIF.
Yeah.
One's a peanut butter.
But thanks everybody for supporting us.
Indeed.
I'm always amazed when we run a contest, how we'll hear from people we've never heard from before that are still enjoying the show, which is very gratifying. And it's just good. Makes me feel good all under.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like me. After the kayak accident.
That's right. I'm going to post that picture.
Should we post the picture?
I don't think you should post the picture. That's a little too much information.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't then.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you're okay.
Until next time,
roll low
and rally well,
but
not when you're playing us.
Toodaloo. Toodaloo, everybody. See you next time.